All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and just get this started, folks. I want to let you guys know right now, a lot of you guys are already been here maybe, but you haven't seen really what we are going to show you today, which is basically like a kind of like a once in a lifetime kind of thing that you're going to see here from us here at Benzinga with this summer bundle, right? It covers everything from the basics of options, right? With educational videos of introduction to options from Chris Capri, our lead trader from the option school, all the way from the live trading room for more advanced or new traders as well from Nick Shaheen and Anne Marie's live trading room, along with trades from Matt Maley, who is a chief market strategist at Miller Tabak. And I'm going to show you these things pretty much here. One second, folks. Let me just move the screen. And also Benzinga Pro, right, which is a monster tool. So in this case, I want to show you Anne Marie's trade here. Really good trade here. She closed it today. Let me show you. So this is the video that she put out in the morning for her members in her live trading room. There's a lot more features to it. Also, just note here, this trade closed, right? So again, stop losses on trades so that it fills at 130% gain instead of just 100%. So that's really what I call risk management with the right style, right? So let's go ahead and listen into the morning video from Anne Marie that she made for her members here in her live trading room.
Morning, everyone. Today is August the 2nd. My name is Anne Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball morning for the Benzinga Pro platform. What we want to do today, we've really got not too much going on. We've got a JOLTS report, but things are kind of quiet. The Fed guys, the different presidents across the patches, they are chatting a bit about this, that, and the other. And then we do have Nancy Pelosi on her way to Taiwan, and she's made a habit of defending them. This just happens to be one of those times she's choosing to defend them, and things are a little bit sticky, right? She's been doing that for 30 years, and so I'm guessing that she's expecting that it'll be business as usual, unless I put on a tinfoil hat, and then it's something totally different. But I'm not going to do that. So here we are looking at SPY, and these are the big things that we want to pay attention to. From a weekly perspective, we're still moving up through the region that was last month. And this line right here shows that we opened a new month. Here's the storyboard. Downward sloping formation, caught in a sideways action, but pressure to the upside. That's what the week is telling us. So from a weekly perspective, it says, hey, pullbacks are buy zones. So if you're looking for something from a weekly perspective, you would wait for a fade to get engaged in the market from a long side of that range. And where might that be? It's anybody's guess. It could be 404, it could be 400, it could be 395. We don't know. Our job is not really to know that right now. It's to know if we're looking for longs, we don't do anything right now if we're planning on putting it on a swing that's going to last several months, okay? Or several weeks. That's what this is telling us. So we go to the daily, and of course you can see it's saying this a little bit of the same thing here, but I'll explain that when we get to it. Here for the SPY on the day, we notice yesterday was, I don't know, do we want to call this a hammer? Little bit of bearish action coming off of the top of the formation. Remember, when we start slipping into the body of the prior day's candle, we start moving through its edges. And so legitimately, the first time that this begins to happen, as it did yesterday, we said, or day before yesterday, we said, hey, okay, if it loses 412, I probably am going to try and watch it come into first the 50% marker and then all the way here at the opening of that region. That happens to be around 407.50. What do you know? Here we are testing that number right around now, okay? And bouncing from it. So this far away from a very tight moving average, reversion to the mean, also very likely, also corroborating this that says, hey, if you want to go long, you might want to wait. 4-hour, we're underneath the moving average. We keep making lower highs and lower lows. We are sitting in a region where we've seen buyers pop in before. So between that 406, 405, and if you're looking at things that aren't memes and are following the broad market, once the SPY gets into that area, you want to start thinking to yourself, maybe I can pick up something. I'll have the wind at my back. All right. So I'm going to put an alert here. Tell us if we've come down into a support action and if that support action is going to hold. From a 4-hour perspective, we're still slipping through. This is the reason that we have that deep in the money call side, because I was expecting this kind of noise before we had ourselves a little bounce. So remember, time frame continuity. This is downward, and this is downward looking at our slope. So it tells us naturally that our bounces are going to be selling pressure events here at the first pass. So what we want to do is watch it lose the close of the candle, watch the candle bounce, and realize that trend on the 2 time frames are going to give us a short that will move us into this area. This is a very good way to position yourselves trading using pure price action and momentum in general. So what are we doing right now? It's pretty much straight down. Look at how nice and linear that 1-hour formation is. But what we have started doing over the last couple of candles is not headed lower. So here's the thing. Is it still a short on the bounce? Oh, you betcha. You betcha. Short on the bounce, but the profit margin says, hey, you need to take some profit right around here. Yes, it could break down. Yes. But to preserve your gains, you cut your position in half here. If it breaks down, beautiful. It holds and then begins to move up, hey, I'm going to be giving back some of that. So I'll get out here and you'll have 2 gains and it'll look very, very nice. Clean your trades up in motion once your charts stop giving you lower highs and lower lows. When you're trading in a trend and something keeps giving you those lower lows, you're all fine and dandy. The moment it stops, you have to say, hang on, or the moment you see buying pressure, push the chart up. And that's what it looks like from a candlestick perspective, right? That's how it pushes the chart up. All right, a little bit of a learning lesson there, but I wanted to share that anyway. Notice a lot of sellers coming in off of this edge in the Qs, forcing price in, but they're still trying to hold a bottom. What do you want to do? Let the chart settle out. This is a lot of negative traction. Easily we come into support. Stop heading lower. Remember, a chart's going to give you good upside pressure event if you have time frames that are telling you the same thing. And right now, what the time frames, oh, my mouse is now dead. What the time frames are telling me is I've got sideways pressure. And so I am going to have a position that's going to be a little bit more difficult to manage if I don't take profit when it comes. All right. That's it, folks. Good luck trading. And I'll see you on the Benzinga Pro platform.
Okay, folks, and that was the morning video, the Moneyball morning there from Anne Marie. And as you can see, this trade here closed, well, at least the leaving the limit, so it fails at the 130% gain instead of just 100%. So these are the trades that you get from Anne Marie, and you can see there's a lot of research, entries, exit as well, with its own language, of course. Netflix right here, calls, puts, and this is very interesting, right? Long call butterfly there, short iron condor. I mean, you do get a lot of variety here, it's a garden variety here things, and it's great for option traders there, right? So next thing, right, keep in mind you also get access to everything here on Pro, the charts, all that. But I want to show you a video, well, some of the stuff there from Nick Shaheen, which is also part of the summer bundle. 1 second, folks. Okay, so Nick Shaheen has a live trading room. It's Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and basically this is what the live trading room looks like. Once you're here, Nick is not here. He left, I think, about like around 5 or so, but he's there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and there's typically about maybe 300 people or so live here. Right now, there's 100 people just hanging out there, and basically Nick is showing his charts here, talking with the members. There's a chat room on the left here, as you see, and you can send him a private message as well. People run polls there as well and stuff. So this is the live trading room. If you're day trading, scalping, swing trading, or if you want a live instructor, trading partner to answer a question to you live, okay, showing you charts, answering your question directly. This is as best, like the best. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, really. So you get that right, and this is the live training room, right? This is the and then here you have, the general chat room, right, where everybody's, talking, all that sort of stuff, including Nick. And you also have an interesting tool here. Let me show you. You have a movers tool, which a lot of people do use a lot for day trading or other things, or finding long-term trades. You can use it pre-market and after-market. It's the only scanner that you can do that. All these other brokerages can only do that. Uh, Yo, what up, Eric? How we doing, man? Mundo, what's up? All these scanners that are out there for any brokerage, they're only aggregating data during regular trading hours, not during pre-market, not during aftermarket. So you're literally missing out on like 8 hours of trading throughout the day. So there's a lot of opportunities out there in the market. It's just you have the tools, right, to pretty much take advantage of that. And that's really what this movers tool does. It does empower retail traders to really get into the action, right, and have access to that data as a retail trader. Helping the little guy pretty much is what we do here. You can filter by market cap as well if you maybe don't want to trade small caps, by price, by sector as well. If you want to trade energy, healthcare, staples, you can filter for that, and you can set it up. If you put regular hours, you can set it up by 1 week, 1 month, 3, 6 months, a year, even custom, right? So that you can even measure it from the bottom of 2020. So that you can do some interesting measurements that with that. So you can do it for gainers or losers, all that sort of stuff. And again, filterable by all this stuff. This is the movers tool. It's included in this bundle that you're seeing. Again, this is like a, how do I put this? It's like a once in a lifetime thing that Benzinga is doing. Uh, Today's the last day to get it, pretty much. So they just sent me out here to show you this stuff. Um, Eric, yeah, no worries, man. You send me an email. Let me just put the contact there so you guys can reach out. It's in the YouTube thing there. And just make sure they pick the mega bundle. That's the one that has all the stuff I'm showing you. So this, everything I'm showing you there, right? Um, is in Benzinga Pro. There's a bunch of more stuff here that you can look into as well, like your own charts. There's a trade ideas tab here where you have a lot of traders just posting their trades and setups and things like that, just so that you can get a feel for the market, right? And this is a work in progress. There's a lot of stuff that will be added to this particular ideas uh, page. Again, there's a lot in Pro here that you can really take advantage of. Um, and more importantly, the news, right? You can pull up here your news feed, and you can filter this by keyword as well. Like you can do, like, COVID, and then as an example, right, like you're going to get every single stock with PR about COVID, right? Every report out there that includes this word as well. So it does help you out to really get a sense, depending on what you're looking at, right? It could be anything else. It could be anything that you can imagine that you trade. Something that I like to do also is just put, acquisition, and you can literally find a stocks that maybe are involved with acquisitions and things like that. And it has this great thing that you can put either and, not, or not. And maybe I want to include an acquisition that includes acquisition but does not include the word stock. Maybe just make the word stock acquisition. Or actually, you know what? Just to make it simpler, I could just cash acquisition. I think these ones are worth a little more. So cash acquisition, you get all the stocks that maybe are involved in those types of acquisition M&As, right? Which is different from a stock in a cash acquisition. So you can get really creative with this stuff, very creative. Again, this is just stuff off the top of my head. Um, you don't have to be, you don't need an MBA in finance for this stuff. You just have to get creative, right? About like as well. So this tool and all the other tools allow you as a trader, as a retail trader, to really kind of work your way out. For example, like if you are a doctor, right? You know, I mean, you can just put the word here, medical, and you could just see, what kind of PRs and news are moving markets regarding anything related to the word medical, or maybe words, terminologies that I don't, that you can search, right? And just like anybody else, you can really use pro to your max advantage. It just really kind of lets you be kind of the best trader you can be with all these kind of customizations, things like that. And the other thing here you can do, we're getting in the weeds right now with the stuff. So let's see. So you can filter this by your watch list. So as an example, I had a watch list here that I made here for. I have some watch list here. So all right, so I put 3 watch lists. You can do this individually, right? So now this whole watch list, this news feed, is made up of stocks that are in those watch lists that I selected. So ignore the noise, right? And you can focus and get a full update. A lot of people that maybe are swing trading or maybe investing long term, you want to have a watch list, long term investments or whatever. You can make as many watch lists as you want, and with that information, you put up your news feed, and you can always have a daily update of what's really happening with the companies that you're holding long term, right? Just to kind of get a sense if you want a glimpse. And that is just one news feed, right? You can open another workspace, go ahead and run this again. And now what we're going to do um, is that I'm going to show you something here. One second. Just need to find it. All right. So in categories, you're going to find this thing that says exclusives, and it's in red. It's highlighted. Okay. So just click that. All right. Click done. And you're going to get a news feed that is made up of PRs, right? That Benzinga does for publicly traded companies. Palathera, you signed up yesterday. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in here, man. I'm telling you. There's a lot in pro. I'm trying to, kind of just slowly go through this. But yeah, this is really part of what you get with the bundle stuff. So then as you go here, right, keep in mind you have all of these companies that reported, some sort of news, right, with Benzinga. So you'll have this there. Again, this is data that you get in Benzinga Pro immediately, right? You will see this PR in another brokerage as an example, right? So for example, the news comes out, Benzinga breaks it. There's a certain time lag sometimes just because of how just software is nowadays, right? With verification and things like that. So it is possible that maybe it could take maybe 10 minutes or something like that to maybe appear in a brokerage, the news. But if you are a member of Benzinga Pro, it's pretty much guaranteed that you'll get that PR the same second that it comes out, right? Because this is pretty much real time data. None of this stuff is like this is all real time right now. So this news feed, I just customized it, and these are all pretty much stories that we are breaking, Benzinga is breaking. A big shout out there to Zoltan. I know that he's working. There's a great team there that works hard to get you all these interviews and things like that. They don't just magically happen. I'm telling you. There's a lot of work behind that stuff. So shout out there. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys before anything, shout out there. Shout out to Zoltan. All right, let's go. And then we're going to open a separate news feed here. And I'm going to show you how you can do something else here. You click categories. Again, categories, right? There's a lot of topics here that you can trade on. So there's a lot of info, even short sellers. Look, short sellers, SEC, startups, tech. All right, so we're going to click on WIM, right? WIM means why is it moving, right? So this actually has a great story in the background of Benzinga as a company, like this particular tool. It's really interesting, but I'll tell you what it is first, right? So basically, we have a team um, of folks there. You know, Abdul, we got Randy, and basically scanning the markets the whole day, looking at stocks that are moving on news, and identifying the news why that particular stock is moving up or down. So they track it, and it will appear right here on top of this chart, and it'll say specifically this stuff right there. So this little blue thing, if you see it, we have a team of people. So again, shout out there to Randy, Abdul, all that team there. Let's go. All right. So this particular company is trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q2 EPS results. If you're day trading or scalping, this is, I mean, just more information to help you, right? Because whenever you're looking at a stock and you're trying to find out why it's moving, sometimes it could take you a little bit of time. Not with Pro, because you get the news like immediately right there, but right here with why is it moving, so that you can kind of save time, right? There's a lot of things here that are pretty much made to save you time as a trader. So that's another great tool that you can have. You have a news feed, right, of stocks that are moving up or down, right, based on specific news. If anybody is a day trader here, you have to trade the news. You're trading volatility. This is what you need to be looking for. Okay? These tools for a day trader, it's a it's literally a gold mine. I'm telling you. I talk to day traders that use Pro all the time, and people are banking with this stuff. It's just that, I don't know if you guys are using it or how you're using it, but I'm telling you how many successful traders here in the community use it, and it's just depending on what you're doing. But as a day trader scalping, even if you're doing options, if this ticker were to have, this is very important, right? Because that's where you make the money, the volatility. And you have that, right? And then you also have the other news feed we did, which is why whenever we do the PRs, right? Then you have another one that you can filter by a watch list. So you can filter this by a watch list that you're trading long term, or you can filter it by a watch list that maybe you're trading for the week. Like if you're doing like a short term trade kind of thing, right? So very customizable. Benzinga Pro, that's kind of in a nutshell, right? What you can do with Pro. um, the other thing I wanted to show is that Nick has some educational videos. You can see them right here, like trade setup information, what are options and puts, call options, what is a spread, credit put spreads, when to book or set a stop loss, when and how to book profits, what type of trade is best, how to pick what type of trade. I mean, this is amazing, guys. I mean, you should definitely go through them. I did. Like I think about like a year and 8 months ago when I joined here, and I'm telling you, these videos made a huge difference. It just demystified everything. It's just a lot more simpler to understand. And the other thing that I wanted to show you is that it does come with trade alerts as well. Um, there's a lot more. There's a lot that comes with the summer bundle. That's why I wanted to just kind of go through it slowly here. But you have the option starter, which is one trade idea every 2 weeks. These are some of the trades, as you can see, right? You also get the options enhanced, which is the higher tier, right? The tier two. And this is one trade idea per week. Again, these are the types of trades that you're getting with Nick, with a chart, with entries, like, debit call spreads right there. So um, then the other one right here, iron condors. So you do get um, a lot of value with this. Now that's for options. Okay, that's Nick Shaheen. Now let's move on here to Matt Maley. Matt Maley is a chief market strategist at Miller Tabak. He's been trading in Wall Street. He's been in Wall Street for about 40 years. He's been at Merrill Lynch, Solomon Brothers. He's been doing this from like the early 80s, I'd say, like 40 years, pretty much, like already, on paper. So he's been trading for about 25 years. He's been an analyst for 15. He's on Bloomberg, CNBC all the time. He knows this stuff. I'm telling you, his picks work. All right. Matt, he knows this stuff. You guys know that. So the starter, right? This is something that you can look at maybe as a 6 month to, well, not 6 months, but maybe, even 1 or 2 months, 2 months to 6 months. Sometimes it will hit earlier, right? But you do get a full description, a full analysis of the stock, right? Price as of posting, target. So, these are stocks that you could literally, you put some money in there. Again, let's just kind of see what the time frame is there for Matt. All right, so he's looking at this for maybe 3 years. So you can consider this some sort of like a long hold, right? A stock that you might want to buy the dips on and things like that. So this stock, he prices of posting was $181. It's already at 184. So you'd pretty much be up already if you got into this trade. Um, so shout out to all the guys that did that. All right. And then on top of that, right, you get one of those every 2 weeks. You also get the stock picks enhanced, which is it's one a week, right? These could be a little quicker. These could be a little quicker, right? Could be talking about a month, 2, 3 months. I've seen some of these hit literally the same week. So I mean, look. So they're you'll see them right there. Planning to sell at $50 over the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's one of the trades. You get one a week, remember. So those are pretty much kind of well. Let's see. You also get the crypto starter and the crypto enhanced. I mean, they just went nuts with this one this time. So um, Polygon. All right. Anybody knows crypto here? Buys crypto. All right. Looks like they're looking at Polygon here. So this is the starter. It's one trade idea every week. One trade idea every 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks you'll get one, and then you'll have the crypto enhanced. Crypto enhanced is one trade idea every week. Again, you're looking at a lot of trades, and these are all going to be sent to you by email. Okay, so we're basically talking about trade alerts sent to you by email, and you can also sign up for text alerts for free. You go to the account page here, support, and you just put your phone number there, right? Put your name, phone number, and you pretty much are going to be set up for trade alerts, and they're free. You won't get charged. We pay for it. You don't have to pay for it, so you're all good with that. Um, so it does come with a lot of stuff there. And let me just show you the video here from Nick really quick, so that you can see more or less what you get in the chat room there from Nick. Hold up. All right. So again, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 is the schedule with Nick, and Sundays 10 to 1. On Sundays, he goes over um, pretty much like 150 stocks, and the stocks come from the chat members. Okay. This video that I'm showing you right now is the video from 7:31, so from last Sunday. This is where the chat members they pretty much put in their tickers, and Nick will review them live and pretty much give full commentary on all this stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this video here.
And magical start of the second video. Start with Netflix. If I can.
Oh, wait, let's go. Let's I think that's the second one, right? I think that's the second one.
Hey traders, Nick here. Finally having a good day after a whole week of being sick. It's unbelievable. Anyway, this is the Sunday video I promised you. I did the homework already. It will have a table that goes with it, and it's clickable. So luckily, I only had 90 tickers this time, not 150 or 170. So let's run through them. First one is Alcoa. This, on an hourly basis, is not an obvious entry point. It is vulnerable to drop towards 47 or 46 in its effort to come to 56. So I wouldn't short it, but it's not an easy entry point. Apple, clearly a good company. The reaction was probably too big to its earnings, but it doesn't matter. It has had prior fails up here, so it's also not an easy entry point. Kind of a messy ticker right now because it chart. That's what I was looking for, chart, because of this empty stuff down here. So not an easy entry. AbbVie, somebody said, can I buy the dip by selling puts to own shares last week? Sure, especially on the dip here. I don't know the fundamentals, but I know it's a good company. So unless there's a major disaster we don't know about, that would be a feasible thing. Now, selling puts is risky unless you really want to own shares. Otherwise, I would use credit put spreads. Affirm, finally, some respect with some higher low trends. And this, in fact, will give it the opportunity to beat this prior fail. So there's a mini one here, and sellers here, and more sellers here, but at least they're having higher lows with that. As long as there's no earnings coming soon. Oh, shoot, there is one. So you got to respect the negative reaction here, just in case. AMD finally also some good reactions. A little too good in my opinion, even though it's breaking out from this one on a daily basis. It looks like it's running away. I have to respect this descending channel that you can see. Clearly, we are at a place where we've been before, and it's like, hey, it's out of the woods, and then something happens somewhere. I second that from the SMH as well. So be careful starting new longs too big here. Leave room to add. So Amazon had a good reaction to earnings, maybe a little too good, like Apple, leaving a messy chart. What's with that? Okay, so these lines here, I'm trying something new that somebody recommended. Elliott waves. I'm not too familiar with the basics, so I'm just wanting to force my eyes to see them first before I start studying into them. So try to ignore them. These dotted blue things um, clearly has room to run, but what? I mean, we're like, how about you trade this candle right there? Did I put a rectangle around it? I should have. This is the let me see if we see it differently here. Yeah, it's better if you look at it in the regular session. This includes the overnight action. Let me see here. Yeah, it's all overnight. Okay, so it's for all intents and purposes, it is a gap. So just be careful chasing this well. This late. Arc F does not look bad. It has a lot of resistance. Like you can see, failed to launch. Will it fail to launch again? Lisa's having higher lows, more than it had before. So not going to be easy because they know once they win this little battle, they're on their way to gather some momentum of sorts. The next one is Arc K. Similar scenario. You can see higher lows, you can see lower highs. Arc K has Tesla in it, so you have to respect that. Tesla might give it help. You'll see why in a little bit. ASML, not an obvious entry point. Wow, this is an amazing rally. So if it is, that's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I mean, they want to take these out, but that shouldn't happen on the first effort. So a dip like these three lines suggest would fit with the Elliott wave 5-3, I think, 5 waves and then followed by 3 corrective waves. So buy the dip is what I'm saying, or chase the rip if that happens before buying the dip. So basically, you're watching this level 587 versus buy the dip into 540 somewhere. I agree with Mr. Elliott. AY, kind of the same statement. Too messy here, too strong of a failing points. So for me, I missed it. I would buy the dip anywhere down in here, or if you want to chase the rip, oof, you better be fast. Not for me. Baba, just stop. Just stop. Stop. Why are we still messing with this one? Um, Clearly, it has its own problems in China, on top of the fact that it has a great business and it can't find a bid. So I would just completely forget it exists. There's rumblings now that they want to be listed in Hong Kong, they listed in US. Who knows? Just avoid the whole mess. I mean, if you want to gamble onto it, it's a good starting point down here. Um, if I remember correctly, this was on the verge of busting out, or maybe not. So we'll see. I don't know if, I mean, this is Bank of America. Sellers are in charge overall. So, kind of like AMD, is this the time when they snap out of it? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know this one. Oh, energy company. This is not an obvious entry point for me. Bill.com is doing exactly what we said. Let me go back to regular. It's doing exactly what we said, like to a T, right? Maybe it finishes the job. Beto, again, we got long. I shared the long opportunity for Beto at 12 point something, 12.7, 5, 8, something like that. Clearly a win. So I didn't buy Beto itself because I was already long crypto. And Beto is a trade on Bitcoin, which is crypto. So I am long Ethereum and Solana, and I did not cash out. In fact, I locked my coins into a situation staking, which is I earn interest for locking my coins for 90 days, so I'm not tempted to trade them. Um, if they don't correct now, they have a lot of runway to go. I'm just saying. But it's good to book some profits. Caterpillar, don't short it, even though this is not an obvious entry point. This is about 50% retracement. They should, again, 5 waves from Elliott, or 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't know, maybe 5. I don't know Elliott wave very well, but anyway, they consider the fourth wave down part of a 5. Okay, so they also anticipate a drop. I don't know what that is. Not an obvious entry point, whatever it is. Prior fail, pivot point. I don't think it's going to be easy. Dip and come back, and then you'll have an inverse head and shoulders that will take you to here. CLF did exactly what we thought it would do with these arrows. Maybe it has room to finish them and then find some sellers. But I would take advantage of that rally and get out because this is my secondary part. CNQ, I would short it. If I had longs, I would ditch them. If I want to short oil, this would be one of them. Although this I think is a natural gas Canadian. Anyway, look into it. I don't like a chart that does that. It's running into prior selling points. So Camel Soup, also not a good place to start longs unless you want to own it for a long term. It's always good to own some Campbell Soup because for some reason it's like immune to dips and it pays 3% dividends. So as a stock, it's pretty good to own. Timing wise, it's not ideal to start longs. Crowd, it's okay to stay long inside the sideways consolidation zone. Higher lows, if they can take these out, they can get to the 220 area, 215. Cisco, definitely not an obvious entry point. I mean, this is a good run with a gap still, but I think this is a pretty tough zone. Chevron, I'd be tempted to reshort it. I have not reshorted it. I'd be tempted. They've just reported and everybody's happy as clams with that. Datadog, not an obvious entry point. It's going into a prior failing zone inside the sideways consolidation area. Deckers, not for me. Messy chart, too many spikes. I mean, unless they're rewarding me tremendously from the earnings, from the options, I'm not willing to chase that. Devon, so I thought this was a downside scenario and it came perfectly. Now they're back into the place where the problem started. This is where people say, thank you, let me out. Not for me. It's about halfway between here and here, I'm going to guess. Let's double check that. Exactly halfway. So natural stopping point. Same with this one. Down is easier, I think, from here. End phase, wow, but definitely not a good place to start longs. Look left. What? Now you take that out, you have room, but a trade, not an investment. Good company, good product. Not for me. This is a bad chart. Going into a pivotal resistance zone, not for me. And this one is delayed for some reason. What the heck is that? Ethereum. If you get out of this box, you have a lot of room to go. Not going to be easy, but if you get out of this box, a lot of room to go. And if you dip, I would get long again. I am long from the 800s somewhere in here. When I got long Beto, I noted it. Definitely not an obvious entry point here. I may have passed the mark where I said I would stop for the first one. Let me go check. I did, but I decided to only split into 2 videos, so no harm done. Okay, so GDX and GLD were on my buy list, and I suggested taking long, and I chose the GLD. They both did well since my entry point. I'm tempted to stay long either of those two. They look good. Also along the SLV. So if I'm long all three, I would lighten up two of them. If I'm not long, I'm just long one of them, I can try for more greens. The chart is conducive for it. GLD, you just heard my answer. I would stay long. And if it dips down to 162 and I'm not long, I would consider taking that long I noted the other day. How? Any which way you do it. Credit put spread, debit call spread, I would use August at least or longer. Naked calls, okay, August or longer. Shares are fine too. Any which way, any combination of those would work as well. Google, not a good entry point here as far as obvious. It's not obvious. Goldman Sachs, it isn't obvious. However, it looks like they're breaking out of a descending channel. So be careful if you're short. I know somebody short at 350.55 via credit call spread in August. It's still statistically viable, but keep an eye. HDA looks like it wants to bust out from this. If it does, it has a lot of upside with a lot of resistance here. Also says delayed. What is that? So Intel, don't know what to say. This stock has never been cheaper. If you want to invest in an excellent company that dominates the industry it's in, this is one. I don't know what to say. An 8 PE for Intel. I don't know. It's beyond words. It's never been this cheap under my watch. I'll have to read the earnings report to see really what they said. So this is a base for a long time. That's good news. Bad news, you lose that base, so you lose 34.80. You're going much lower. I don't know how much lower. I mean, technically down to here, but you do have excellent bounce levels. So if you trust in the company, you get long with a stop. That would be my trading opportunity. LMT, when it fell, it was on my list to do a credit put spread. I don't remember if I shared it or not. Now it's back to the middle of this iron condor that we played so many times. Not a good starting point. Can I do an iron?
All right, folks, and that was just a little bit, right, of what the not even half really, but of the whole session that Nick does every Sunday for the chat members. Okay, that's every Sunday that he does it, and he will post the recording in the chat room, right? So you'll have both videos there. He will split them up in a few. This is a strategic market update that he did put out there recently, right there. So you'll have this type of content as well in the live room, in the live trading room. And you'll have all of this with the same summer bundle, everything that we've been going over here, everything from Anne Marie's trades, okay? Everything from Anne Marie's trades all the way to the live trading room with Nick Shaheen, all the way to the stock picks trades with Matt Maley, Chief Market Strategist. And don't forget, you get introduction to options, a very, very detailed, intensive session from Chris Capri, from the head of the options school, okay, for introduction to options, right? You will also get access there to the live trading room with Nick Shaheen Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, right here. You get access to these educational videos. What is a call? What's a put? What's a spread? Definitions, uses, credit put spreads, when to book or set a stop loss, when and how to book profits, what type of trade is best, how to pick what type of trade to buy. So really detailed information stuff, crypto trades as well. I don't think there's anything you're not getting on this, folks. So when you click the link, it's going to give you these three options. The mega is the one that we discussed. Everything that we included, that we mentioned, that we went over, is right here on the mega. So if you do want to use the annual, it's like pretty much like $1,000 for all of that combined, which is kind of crazy. And but if you do want to do a lifetime, reach out. A lot of you guys did email about that, so I went ahead and put that. Reach out, send an email or call in. This is going to be available until midnight. So I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this up here. I think we went over everything. Feel free to reach out if you do want to ask questions about, like Eric, there a payment plan or something for the lifetime. Reach out and email as well, and we'll be happy to help you out here with this. Thanks a lot for watching here, and we'll see you right there on all the other on the chat room. Once you guys join, you'll have full access. Make sure to check your email and reach out if you have questions. Manuel, yes, it does include the options inner circle chat room. Yes, it does include that. Correct. Just reach out if you have questions, and we'll be happy to help here. The contact is in the it's on the screen. Make sure to call, email there, sign up. It expires at midnight. Thanks a lot, everybody. We will see you tomorrow in the Benzinga platform there tomorrow. Let's go.